Hello, everybody. I am Hoardergamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. Good to see you. Whether you're watching this like live or you're watching it at your leisure, it's great, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. We have comic books tonight. We're going to talk about games. Honestly, we're really going to focus on Diablo 4 because no one seems to know what's going on with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We have also, of course, comic book reviews and some toys. So let us start with our first comic book review today. Night Club, issue 4. Okay, this has been an awesome book for a number of reasons. So just like last week, I reviewed a Mark Millar book that was Ambassadors #1. And this is another one. As I said, Mark is very prolific. And one of the reasons I want to do, it wasn't to do another Mark Millar book. I don't want to constantly do the same writer or artist every week. But it's because this is a great book, and it's only $1.99 an issue for a full-length comic book. This is from Image, and it's Mark Millar and Juanan Ramirez, and it is really good. It's basically a bunch of young adults who get superpowers by being bitten and being turned into vampires. And they masquerade as luchadors in those types of outfits to keep their anonymity. And there's this like kind of secrecy thing going on with the person who turned them. That person's also a police detective. So the stuff's pretty crazy. And that person, of course, is a vampire as well. But yeah, this is a wild issue. A building basically collapsed. All three of the main characters were in it. And they survive. Well, of course, ambulances come. They're able to get the bodies out. And they find out that one is allergic to sunlight and starts bursting into flames. A big fight happens at the hospital when the person gets there. The main character, first person who's bitten in like the first issue. And yeah, there's like a battle in the morgue, and it gets very interesting. I don't want to ruin the entire book, but to me it's very awesome that a great book from Image is $1.99 a month. I don't know how they can afford to do it. Obviously, I'm sure Mark and Juanan are getting the full amount they should for like a normally priced book. I'm sure that's no issue. But like, it's really neat. And it's a 6-issue story arc. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. This is issue 4. There's like 2 more issues. And there'll probably be another arc of another 6 issues if I were to guess. Hey Mike, how you doing? You smashed the like button. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for smashing that like button. Whether you want to smash it, or if you like you have your phone near you and you just like use your tongue and just hit it, whatever. I'm sorry, we're having some frame rate issues. I apologize for that. I don't know why. That's worrisome. Anyway, Night Club is very good, and I do recommend it. It's a solid series, and like I said, this is issue 4, and it's been really good. So let me put this back in the morgue. Next up, everybody, a little game that I've been talking about a lot. Like a lot. Diablo 4. So a really cool trailer slash, but not behind the scenes, what I want to say. A feature type thing. Came out for Diablo 4 today, an official 6-minute video talking about Endgame, the Endgame of Diablo 4. That's okay, Misplaced. I appreciate you peeking in. Thank you. And it's all about the Endgame of Diablo 4. And I even took notes, okay? Because I want to cover this. And I hope that Doomkiller HD is able to see this video in its entirety, because he will be very interested in what the game all entails besides the main story. So, real big thing they've been selling since the beginning of this game is play your way. They don't want to dictate the way that you play Diablo 4. You know what? Let me see if I have any Lilith around here. Give me 1 second. I might have some Lilith. Oh my god. Oh my god. The Mother of Sanctuary just appeared. Wow. I guess be careful what you wish for. But anyway, now that we have Lilith here, another point is they also want it never should there be an absence of something for you to do in the game. There should always be something exciting or interesting or something new happening in the game. And that includes a number of really cool things. That's what we're going to start with right now. A capstone dungeon. Capstone dungeons allow you to go to the next world tier. Here's the exciting thing about a capstone dungeon. You will actually defeat the dungeon by fighting a boss. And once your skills are good enough that you can fight that boss and defeat it, then you have beaten the dungeon. I like that idea. I like the idea that it's like a unique type boss that you're fighting in order to level up. I think that's a cool concept. It makes it challenging. Next up, we have the Paragon board. So just like Diablo 3 had Paragon points, here you have a board and you put these points, you don't really, they're not points, they're more like little destinations on the board. You fill those in, okay? But that's not it. That board can connect to other boards, and you can rotate those boards to connect. So you basically are creating your own character each time you create a character and go through Endgame, okay? Then there are aspects. They turn items into legendary items, and they have special powers and or affixes on them. And they are usually pretty awesome. They're similar to like how the legendaries are in Diablo 3. Okay. Then we have Nightmare Dungeons featuring Hellgates. So a Nightmare Dungeon is like a dungeon that you can do in the game, and there's 120 dungeons in the game. Okay, but now certain features are different. Like, you'll have more difficult enemies, you'll have objectives to do in the dungeon, and like even like the look of it can be a little bit darker, a little bit more frightening. And that's what a Nightmare Dungeon is. Now, they just, I think, announced today, I don't know if we knew about this, Hellgates. In that dungeon, which is based on a specific area with specific enemies and everything, randomly, a Hellgate can open up, and enemies can come out from different regions. Randomly. You don't even know when it's going to happen. So you'd be fighting an entire, like, group of enemies, and here we go. More different enemies from like another region show up. Okay? So I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. Then we have something I really like too, Helltide. Helltide is corrupted, dangerous areas with visual and audio changes and more difficult enemies. Like they talked about, meteors can be raining down from the sky, or there can be like lightning storms. Okay? And like, if it's similar to Diablo 2 Remake, Diablo 2 Resurrected, then it'll be a different music playing. The sky looks dark and foreboding. It's really cool. And you're fighting more difficult enemies for higher experience in order to level up quicker. So it's a really cool way for them to reuse areas you've seen and make them look and feel different to you. It's very cool in Diablo 2 Remake. Okay, then we have the Tree of Whispers. It's basically a series of side missions for this bizarre, like, magical tree, and you're doing things, like, it's bidding, basically, to get items. And it could be, like, go to the Frost Peaks and fight this many werewolves. It could be more story-based, but I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I expect to do a lot of hours of Tree of Whispers. Then there's the Fields of Hatred. Player versus player and player versus enemy at the same time. You fight enemies and other players to get special shards that you must purify. But once you get these shards and you need to purify them, other players in the instance, which I think is a total of up to 12, I think, will know you're trying to do that. So. And we also have this part of it. Basically, the whole game is we'll have a living, breathing set of updates for players, including story. including new enemies, new bosses. So they really intend to support this game for a long time, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I love Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 Remake Resurrected. I've been recently playing over the last, I'd say, 6 months to a year or so, and really enjoying that as well. Diablo 3 I have a lot more time with, though. I've been playing that since on and off since like 2014, whenever it hit Xbox 360. And then I really got into it when it came out for PS4 and Xbox One. So, okay, but yeah, that's basically the gaming news. Now, I do have a little to say about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Friend of Doom Squad Gaming, Lejeune, just put out a video today, and I'm paraphrasing, but the title is, Where is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? So definitely check that video out. Lejeune, Laajune, in case you don't know. And I'm sure that'll be a fun time. At least, we're waiting, for any news on this game. So it's exciting to get videos out and things like that. Even speculation, all that stuff is fun for me because I want to know too, where is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? I totally want to know that. I want that answer. Super Mario Brothers movie comes out today, and Rotten Tomatoes a bit rough, about 55%, and I don't know what to think of that. I will say this, that when a movie is at like 50%, basically that's like half the reviewers loved it, half of them did not, or liked it and didn't. So it's very interesting. So when you're getting near that number and it's not more like 20 or 30, if it's more like in the 50s, you could find like some really great horror movies and stuff like that. So Super Mario Brothers might be really good. I have heard that big fans of the characters will enjoy going to the different worlds and things that you've seen in the games that are basically kind of brought to CGI life. So I am looking forward to it. I will be seeing it. Not immediately, though. First off, I'll be seeing, what the heck? Dungeons & Dragons. I'll be seeing that first. But probably Super Mario Brothers I'll attempt to see, like, next week or so. Okay, everybody. We are done with gaming news today. Next up, we have some toys. We are going to toy around. And, let's do that. I think that'll be fun. Oh my god, Lilith just disappeared. I think because we were done with that segment, Lilith was like, I'm out of here. So. Okay, first up, we have Megatron. Now, I believe it's called Armada Megatron. I think he looks awesome. He is right around $49.99 to $54.99. I'm not exactly sure the price. It's right around there. But I love the color. I love the design of his head. He turns into a tank. You can see the treads there, so that makes sense. But yeah, that was announced and pre-orders are live. If you're interested in getting him or any of the toys I show you, you can definitely order from entertainmentearth.com. If you use code Hoarder, it actually supports me, so thank you. But yeah, there's Megatron. I think he looks great. If I had the ability to have a ton more pictures easily to show, then I would show like, a tank and everything like that. But it's much easier to just have like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 pictures of toys to show. Because it's not the longest segment. It was never really meant to be the longest for the most part. But yeah, there's Megatron right there. Next up, and now I'm completely drawing a blank on the name. Fantastic. It's Grease something. I apologize. But this Transformer looks amazing to me. I love the claws and the feet, which is like the front of the truck. I love the spoilers on the sides, the design on the head, the purple. And I believe that just like RC, this is a female Transformer. I have to double check that, but I believe that she is. So I really like this one too. I love the design. I love the coloring of it. I think it's very cool. I believe this one is $24.99. I don't quote me on that. It could be like $34.99. They have a lot of weird price points, man. Like, I think it would make a lot more sense if it was like $24.99, $49.99, and then Titan, being crazy expensive. Yeah. But there's this awesome Transformer right here. Also available for pre-order. Sorry about that. We're having frame rate issues, and I'm getting a little bit nervous. So that's why I think I forgot her name. Anyway, basically, I feel like I'm cursed by Xbox Live Mike, who is like, he'll probably have to get a new computer. Okay. Anyway, Scarlet Witch here, looking amazing with some really cool accessories right there. $24.99. And I think pre-orders are either live or going live tomorrow for this figure. But I think it looks really good. I like it a lot. I think it's one of the best takes on Scarlet Witch I've seen from the MCU. Okay, everybody. So we talked about games. We had our first comic book review. And we toyed around a bit. Now it's time to look at the future. The future of comic books. All the way to 1 week from today. First up, we have Phantom Road. Now, this is a rough experience for me. Like, not terrible, but disappointing. Every now and then, if you get physical comic books, you'll get a shipment that's just destroyed, ruined, and they need replacements. And that's what happened to me with Phantom Road. Jeff Lemire, one of my favorite writers, my shop, the books got damaged. And they basically put me on a list for like a replacement copy. And I don't know if it didn't come in or what, but reprints come out next week. And so does issue number 2 of Phantom Road. It's supposed to be about like this nightmarish story of a trucker and like, taking place in a rural area. I think it sounds really neat and very different than a lot of stuff Jeff Lemire's done. Especially because I think it's more of like a moving story. Like, I don't think it focuses too much on a single location. But I'm really looking forward to reading it. And this is issue 2. So issue 1 reprints come out next week, and issue 2 first printing comes out the same day, basically. Every road has its thorn. Yes. Next up, we have the beautiful work of Yoshitaka Amano, who you might know from Final Fantasy and a number of other Square Enix games. They do a lot of artwork, but that's probably where they're most well known from. This is the cover of Dream Country. Hold on, I gotta get the title now. Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House. I apologize, there's a little wrong there. The Glass House. Now, this is volume 2. Dream Country, the first volume, was available in hardcover and softcover today. So that's actually available now, volume 1, and volume 2 starts next week. So, and I thought this was really awesome artwork for it. It's about a nightmare, one of the first nightmares created by the Dream King, Sandman. So it's connected to Sandman. This nightmare is called the Corinthian. It's the first serial killer. And it's got eyes for teeth. Very charming, but also very terrifying, much like the Corinthian is in the Sandman Netflix series. But this is him almost doing like detective work, but not quite like John Constantine. And there's still the threat that he's the Corinthian. So like it's like he's trying to help some people, but he's still the Corinthian. So it's still pretty creepy and scary. So I think volume 2 here of The Glass House will be awesome, just like volume 1 was. And finally, everybody, a lot of people ask about issue 1s. And with the movie coming out, this is going to be hot. And it's Lanzing and Kelly, the writing team that has basically taken over Marvel, Star Trek, you name it. Guardians of the Galaxy #1. So basically, the Guardians were destroyed, no longer a thing. And now this is basically how I believe they reform or, get the band back together type of thing. But it should be fantastic. Guardians of the Galaxy has been a really strong Marvel book. I believe it's, if I get his name right, it's L. Ewing, Jerry Dugan, and Donny Cates have written it recently. And it's been great. And it's been a while since there's actually been a Guardians book. 6 months, a year, something like that. So here's #1. And this is a very exciting book. I look forward to reviewing this next week. Unless, my computer bursts into flames. Okay. Let me remove this. And finally, we have another comic book review. This is actually going to be one of the shortest episodes. That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's so Raven. Well, really probably because there's only one video game to talk about in detail. So, Venom, #18. Okay, Venom is one of my favorite books going right now, but man, is it insane. So, the easiest way to look at it is, it's Eddie Brock, the story of Eddie Brock and his son Dylan. And almost every other character currently in the story arc is Eddie Brock. In alternate timelines and different places in time and space. There's a villain named Imperius that was Eddie Brock. Basically, all these, I believe Bedlam was also a version of Eddie Brock. All of these things are connected, and it's crazy. It's really good, but man, is it complicated. Here you find out something really interesting. Just like the King in Black, there's a King in White. Who's the King in White, you're asking? The Beyonder. And the Beyonders are basically so if you look at it like the, not evil, but kind of like the dark or like more sinister, but not truly evil, that would be the Clintar or the type of creature that Venom is. Okay? So the Beyonders are basically the white version of that, and they are basically the group that kind of doesn't have to get their hands dirty. The group that sort of like kind of like watches things, makes sure things go okay, but really doesn't seem to have their their neck on the line, it seems. At least from the way this issue worked. So that was really interesting to hear that there's kind of like, there's Null and there's Eddie, but then the Beyonders are the opposite. So that was a really cool and interesting reveal. And basically you have this like future version of Venom all the way at like the end of reality talking to Eddie and like answering. He's able to ask 5 questions of this entity thing that is also in a way Eddie. It's very good, but I honestly would recommend, I'm not saying you have to start with Donny Cates' run, which is one of my absolute favorites, but I feel that you would have to start with like issue 1 of Ewing and Ram V. I feel that's you could get this issue. It's very good, but my God, it is hard to understand it. Maybe issue 19 or 20, they're going to have an easier jumping on point, but it's still really good. And it's a book I usually read. Have I missed an issue here or there? Yes, but a lot of it made sense. I know a lot of the characters they're talking about, so it was good. It was good. So everybody, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm not exactly sure what's going on and what the CPU usage spiking was. Something's running in my background I don't know about. I don't know. But thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, ideas, or thoughts, pop those into chat or pop them into comments. I do take a look at those things. I will be honest, though, there's not a lot of comments to comment on. So, but I love doing this show, and I thank Doomkiller HD again for letting me borrow the channel. Thank you, Doom. Thank you very much. Hope you get to check out that Diablo stuff I talked about. And that 6-minute video is awesome. It's really good. Like I said, it covers all those things and actually shows them. So you can get visuals for all that. So, and it's official. It's Joe Shelley and other members of the D4 team talking about the game. Like I said, next week I'll be doing Guardians of the Galaxy issue 1. And yeah, I guess that was the end of the show. Again, thank you very much for either watching live or, you know, at your leisure. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And if you enjoy it, be sure to tell others. I'm not going to bother you constantly asking you to smash the button. If you like it, that's cool. Thank you. But, like, if you could tell other people about this show, too, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you all have a great, whatever time it is you're watching this. I think that's what I'll say every week. That's a good catch-all. That's a good catch-all right there. Okay, I'll see everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.